Good evening. You're now with me, Lorenzo Isaac, for TVS Nightline. We begin with this story. Malaysia is bracing for the economic fallout of the escalating Middle East conflict as Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim calls for an emergency session of the National Economic Action Council. According to Anwar, the council will unite every political party to formulate a single, cohesive national response to the global crisis. As such, he says the council will work in lockstep with the National Security Council, actively monitoring the rapidly evolving geopolitical landscape to protect Malaysia's interests.
Minggu depan insya-Allah saya akan panggil pertamanya semua menteri besar dan premier dan ketua menteri untuk memaklumkan supaya penyertaan semua negeri, tak kira parti sama kerajaan untuk pembangkang, dan saya sedang rencana untuk memanggil juga pemimpin-pemimpin parti, semua parti, untuk kalau boleh berunding dan mendengar sendiri taklimat dari Majlis Kesihatan Negara, dari Majlis Tindakan Ekonomi dan langkah-langkah yang harus kita ambil bersama supaya kita dapat tangani.
Speaking after Friday prayers, the Prime Minister assured the nation that Malaysia's economy remains stable and has not yet reached the critical levels seen in other regions. He noted there has been no significant economic downturn or sudden surge in RON 95 fuel prices thus far. The government is set to tap into the returns from PETRONAS'S overseas investment to boost domestic supplies and ensure national energy security. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim says harnessing these international assets is critical as the national oil giant maintains strategic investments in multiple regions worldwide.
Kita juga cari jalan kerana kebaikan, keistimewaan PETRONAS ini kerana pelaburannya itu pelbagai, bukan saja di dunia negara Teluk tetapi di Brazil, Suriname, Canada. Jadi kita cari jalan supaya dapat pulangan dan juga hasil di sini dan memenuhi keperluan tempatan.
The Prime Minister also reassures the public that fuel supplies remain sufficient through May, despite the recent adjustment to the Budi 95 petrol subsidy program. Starting April 1st, the eligibility cap for RON 95 subsidies will be adjusted from 300 litres to 200 litres per month, so the price remains frozen at RM1.99 per litre. Anwar stresses the move is designed to make subsidy savings more targeted while ensuring domestic fuel stocks remain stable amid ongoing geopolitical uncertainty. A proposal to upgrade the Sirkin police post to a full-scale police station is being held as a critical move to fortify national border security. The upgrade comes ahead of the opening of the new Immigration, Customs, Quarantine and Security or ICQS complex in the area. Sarawak Deputy Transport Minister Dato' Henry Jinep says the new complex will trigger a surge in cross-border traffic, requiring a more robust and coordinated security presence. Henry notes that this reclassification has already led to an increase in senior ranking officers and specialized departments within the district.
Ini disebabkan kita di sempadan, dan apabila siapnya ICQS nanti, dan tentu sekali lah ramai yang akan masuk peluang, dan saya percaya itu dalam radar polis, pihak polis untuk meningkatkan pondok polis distrikin kepada balai polis. Ya, itu penting ya. Dan apabila kita jadi balai, tentulah keanggotaan, jawatan dan sebagainya tentulah sudah berbezalah pada tahap balai.
The move reflects the growing importance of the Baut district, which has now been upgraded to be headed by a superintendent, aligning it with major hubs like Miri, Bintulu and Samarahan. Surging global oil prices driven by Middle East tensions are triggering deep concerns for Sarawak's riverine transport and rural communities. Sarawak Deputy Transport Minister Dato' Henry Jinep warns that remote areas are the most vulnerable as the vast majority of river and sea transport relies heavily on diesel. Henry stresses that a prolonged global conflict could disrupt critical supply chains, driving up the cost of living and crippling local tourism.
If it is prolonged, then it's very bad for the economy. Tourism will be very affected. Local economy will be very affected. Makan minum kita pun affected. Harga barang pun affected.
Especially the rural, depending on the river.
Yes, exactly. Those who are depending on river line memang teruk. Bukan saja rural. Those are not in the river line. Those are on the road. Those are dependent on oil pun tak susah nak bergerak kalau tidak ada minyak. It's very chaotic. Very chaotic. Even though it's not happening here, but the moment the supply reduce, the moment supply stop, we also be affected.
To mitigate this risk, the government is maintaining the subsidized RON95 price at RM1.99 under the Budi 95 program. However, eligibility limits are being adjusted from 300 litres to 200 litres per month starting April 1st. Henry reiterates that these preemptive controls are essential to shield rural communities from the full force of the global crisis. High-income groups are expected to feel the impact more from the reduction in the fuel subsidy quotas, especially under the Budi Madani RON95 scheme. According to Associate Professor Dr. Aimi Zulhasmi Abdul Rashid from UniKL Business School, this is because they tend to use vehicles with larger engine capacities, which naturally consumes more fuel.
Pasti ini mungkin majoriti segmen B40 dan sebahagian lagi daripada M40 yang mempunyai kenderaan yang berkapasiti kecil iaitu motorkar dan motosikal. Kemungkinan pula golongan T20 yang menggunakan hampir semua kuota 300 liter setiap bulan kerana mereka mempunyai kenderaan yang berkapasiti besar dan mempunyai lebih dari satu kenderaan yang diguna pakai. Melalui data-data tersebut, kerajaan mempunyai langkah yang sensibel, membuat langkah yang sensibel dengan mengekalkan harga RM1.99 dan menurunkan jumlah subsidi kepada 200 liter sahaja.
Based on this data, he revealed that the government's move makes sense, keeping the fuel price at RM1.99 while reducing the quota to 200 litres per month. He added with this adjustment, the government can cut overall fuel subsidy spending. The savings could then be redirected to other forms of assistance like STR and SARA, allowing support to be delivered in a more targeted and structured way. On Thursday, the government announced a temporary adjustment to Budi 95 eligibility quota, reducing it from 300 litres to 200 litres per month starting April 1.
Welcome back. Before rolling out a work-from-home policy, there needs to be an effective monitoring system to make sure employee productivity and discipline don't decline. Vice-Chancellor of University Malaya, Wales Professor Dr. Rosalina Ahmad Saufi said the public sector especially needs to put the right systems in place to track productivity levels. She also pointed out that both employers and employees need to fully understand what's involved before implementing the policy.
Saya yakin penjawat awam boleh deliver. Bukan saja penjawat awam, malah is being proven di sektor swasta juga. They can deliver their performance. But subject, again saya nak emphasize, saya nak tekankan pemantauan sangat penting oleh majikan. That's why SOP itu tadi ataupun kalau boleh wujudkan satu sistem secara atas talian bagaimana tugasan boleh dilaporkan pada setiap hari apa yang dibuat dan perlu di-verify lah oleh immediate superior.
Earlier, Second Finance Minister Dato Sri Amir Hamzah Azizan said the move is being considered to help balance the impact of rising fuel subsidies, which have increased by an additional 2 billion ringgit. He added that the approach could not only reduce government operating costs, but also lower energy consumption without affecting the quality of public service delivery.
France Economy Minister Roland Lescure says stronger than expected economic performance is no coincidence after new data showed the country's 2025 public deficit came in at 5.1% of GDP, lower than the earlier forecasts of 5.4%. According to statistics agency INSEE, the improved figures reflect renewed economic activity with businesses investing, consumers spending more, even dipping into savings and exporters maintaining strong performance.
L'INSEE a publié un déficit public de 5,1%, au-dessus de ce qu'on attendait, et tu l'as dit, je pense que ces résultats n'arrivent pas par hasard. Vous rappelez aussi que ces résultats budgétaires se sont inscrits dans un cadre macroéconomique sur lequel, là aussi, on a eu plutôt de bonnes nouvelles avec une croissance annoncée par l'INSEE il y a quelques semaines de 0,9%, là où on s'attendait à 0,7%. Vous dire que là non plus, ce genre de choses n'arrive pas par hasard. Les entreprises françaises ont investi, les consommateurs ont commencé à reconsommer, même à puiser un peu dans leur épargne, les exportateurs exportent, et la stabilité politique a donné aussi de la visibilité aux entreprises françaises pour leur permettre de continuer à croître. Vous dire qu'évidemment pour 2026, on a l'occasion de le dire régulièrement, les incertitudes restent fortes et qu'on va piloter ça comme on le fait depuis maintenant quelques semaines au plus près sur la croissance, sur les sujets budgétaires.
Lescure also pointed to political stability as a key factor, saying it has given companies greater visibility and confidence to continue growing. However, speaking at a press briefing in Bercy, he cautioned that there are still significant uncertainties ahead for 2026.
Austria will ban social media for children up to the age of 14 following lengthy negotiations within the ruling coalition, the government said on Friday. The government also plans to introduce a new compulsory school subject called Media and Democracy to help students distinguish truth from falsehood and recognize attempts at anti-democratic influence, according to the proposal. Several European Union countries, including France, Spain and Denmark, have announced their intention to establish a digital age of maturity for social networks.
Wir werden die Social-Media-Nutzung für Kinder und Jugendliche unter 14 Jahren einschränken. Und die Risiken, die mit dieser Nutzung einhergehen, wurden lange genug ignoriert. Und jetzt ist es Zeit zu handeln.
Get all the updates you need all in one app. TVS Inspire brings you live updates on events, news and programs. Available now on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. TVS Inspire will on your screen anytime, anywhere. Those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Lorenzo Isaac. Thank you for watching and have a good night.